Okay, here it is, Sunday, and you guys that are probably wondering, why can't this son of a gun ever get any consistency with these videos when he posts them? Well, there's always a reason, and today's reason is I don't have any power. Now, you may or may not be able to hear this generator running in the background. So I have a generator. I have means. I can live without power. It's hella inconvenient, right? But because I'm spoiled and soft, and I'm used to living in a country where we have drinkable, potable water, with the turn of a faucet piped into the house in several places, and indoor toilets and that flush, and electricity, and all these things makes my life very comfortable as compared to what it could have been had I been born in a lesser developed area of the world. Isn't it like the majority of the world doesn't have access to potable water, like plumbed straight into their house? I think that's true, isn't it? So we got the generator. I have the generator going. My girl's not here with me, so it's lonely, of course. I went and worked out this morning, of course, at Retro, because it is Sunday. George and I did some legs, some calves, and then we went and ate, had some food. I had some very, very clean rice, white rice. I like it for the pump. I had white rice and chicken, of course, because, we eat chicken like it's a delicacy and going out of style. And then I came home and stopped and got a coffee on the way, very cush life. Came home and no electricity. Dog, she didn't even tell me. Just greeted me at the door like everything was everything. Didn't tell me, hey buddy, we got no electricity. But, so I had planned on getting some videos up more, and I still will, but I can't say when, because out here where I live, when the power goes out, you really don't know when you're going to get it back. And that's why everybody has a generator. But I heat with wood, and be a nice, romantic, quiet evening without power, if that's what it turns out to be, with no power. And romance is important. It's very important. I know you're probably thinking, don't tell me now he's going to talk about romance and relationships. Jesus Christ. Maybe I am. I don't know. I would say that I think relationships are important. I think all relationships are important. And as I get older, and I think a number of things that just, a huge confluence of things that have opened my eyes to this and made me really realize it. Of course, it sounds so obvious, relationships are important. And you think you already know that, right? Well, I thought I already knew it too, long ago. But lately, as in just like the past few years, I've come to understand how really, really important they actually are. Because as time goes on, one of the things you find out, and the older guys here on this channel, which we have a bunch of older guys, because older guys fucking rock. Yeah, I know, younger's cool too. I prefer to be younger in many regards, but what can I do about it? So at least let me have this. Old guys rock, okay? Can we at least do that? Thank you. Mighty generous of you. So as you get older, you people leave, people pass away, people die. And the longer that you hang around, the more people that you see go. And as they go, doesn't take very long for you to realize that's forever, as far as in terms of what forever is here in this life. They're not coming back here, that you're going to be aware of in the current role that you have as the person you identify yourself as in this life. So in other words, forever. They're gone. And it makes you think, man, if I just had a little heads up, I could have, I would have done a lot of things differently. Would have valued their time much, much more. And invested more of my time because it would have paid off in the long run. Those memories, the knowledge, things I would have gleaned that I didn't, the extra stuff that I missed. So there's that. And, the other aspect is just relationships in general. Until you actually sit down and have a talk with yourself, man to man or woman to woman, as ever it is, and you come to real terms with getting to know you, who you are, and what that embodies, you begin to realize and see and recognize places in your lifetime where you reacted in a manner that wasn't the best representation of who you really are, what you really are. And it had negative impact and may have cost you. May have cost you dearly in some regards. People that invested their time and their affection, their concern, their love in you, with you, and because maybe it was the other person. But I'm going to stick with it, maybe you, because I'm talking about me. Maybe me. And if you're at all like me and can relate, then maybe you weren't evolved far enough along that you could be open and honest with who you are and present yourself suchly. And so you try to put on airs, and we all do it, or at least have done it at some point in time. Hopefully, you guys are farther along than me and you're far beyond it. I'm not far beyond it. I'm beyond it. But I damn sure wouldn't say far beyond it. It took a long time and a lot of loss for me to understand the people that I hurt and how I hurt them, let them down, disappointed them, and in so doing, over the long term, really hurt myself and let myself down because I wasn't leading with even a reasonable representation of what I really felt inside, who I really am, right? Can't let that down, let that guard down completely, 100%. And you're never going to be able to do that unless you first let it down alone with yourself and know yourself. Know yourself. There may be an image that you have out there, somewhere that this is who I want to be. And it may be based on any number of things that aren't even real, that don't even matter. And that's what you want to portray, and that's, if life was a movie, that is the role you've written for yourself. Well, how about you just play the cards you were dealt? How about you just don't care, let somebody else be worried about labeling and defining the role if they must, and really fewer people than you think are going to do that to you if you just put yourself out there, the real you. And there's people who do that, and they glow. You can feel it when you meet them. They have this thing about them, it's just real. And that's what I want, and that's what I'm trying to be, and who I'm trying to be is just me. And if it doesn't matter how others perceive it, if they want to perceive it as weak, if they want to perceive it as lame, if they want to perceive it as ignorance or stupidity or whatever, I don't care what, immaturity or brilliance or maturity, or who gives a shit. First thing you have to do is stop giving a shit about what labels the outside world, somebody looking in, may put on you, may place on you. Who gives a shit? That's their problem. They haven't evolved then, if that's where they're at. that everything has to fit in a category, everything has to fit in this little shoebox so that I can understand it very easily, with just one sentence. And that's it. I'm writing them off. That's all I know. And, that's also part of why people like to, again, I don't like to bring up these comments from these fucking busters because we all know what they are. But I give them enough chance. I give them plenty of chance. Right? So I don't want to exclude anybody. And when they continue that behavior, they got to go. And this one guy, every time, that I mention anything about trying to do some good in the world, person to person, right, one-on-one basis, he's got some kind of negative remark to make about it, like people are homeless people, they're undeserving, or they're drug addicts, or they're this, or they're that, so you think I should just waste my time with it. Your time is your time. I don't think you should do anything in particular with your time. I have my hands full being responsible with what I do, with my time in my life, owning that, figuring it out, owning that, and doing what I think I'm supposed to be doing. That keeps my life full. I don't have time to try to, designate what you should do or even judge it. So if you perceive it as a waste of your time, then absolutely you should not waste your time. But every person, just because they're on the street, doesn't mean that they brought it on themselves or they deserve it or they're undeserving of any help. Because everybody's got a story, right? Now, the only other alternative is you have time to actually invest and get to know these people one-on-one, really know their story individually, right? And then still you're going to sit in judgment. That's not for me. If it's for you, hey, do your thing. It's just not for me. I just try to do what I can do to help. And who knows if I'm really helping? Don't know. But just like when I get up in the morning, I don't know if it's going to be my last day on planet Earth. A lot of things you're not going to know, and you're not supposed to know, and you will never know. No one will really know, right? Until it's all played out. You always know after the fact. And so you don't know what good reverberations you can kick off in someone's situation or life, or in their heart or their spirit, by doing something that you think can help. You don't know. That could really go a long ways for that person. You don't know. On the other hand, if you withheld that help and you write them off, then where will they get help? You count on the next man to do it, the next woman to do it. You can't count on that. Like I said, you can't count on anything. You can't count on waking up tomorrow morning. You hope you're going to. You most likely will, but you can't count on that. Not everybody does. And when you have situations, and when I say help people, it doesn't always have to be, somebody's on the streets, that they're in that dire need. The best way, or the best situation would be if you can help somebody in a preemptive fashion, okay? Like if you see somebody that is lacks confidence, lacks self-esteem, apparently, or whatever, and they're walking around looking at the ground and they can't look anyone in the face, and they're feeling, you can see that in a person, man. They're shy, timid. Befriend them. Kind word. You don't have any money, you can't afford to, help somebody that might need $1. Don't give them $1. Give them a kind word. Can you do that? Acknowledge them, that's all. Kind word, man. Let me tell you something. I am telling you right now, and I challenge you, and many of you out there, I'm sure already have found this out. If you didn't already know it, you have found it out. Anything you put out there positively into that universe, anything you put out there positively in this universal consciousness, which I believe in, anything you put out there that's good will come back to you tenfold. Will come back to you tenfold. Now, don't sit around waiting for it. Don't do it because of that. But you will reap a benefit from it. You're never going to be wrong doing something right. I can promise you that. I have found that to be true. again and again and again, and it continues to be true today. You know. But we're going to kick things into high gear around here, and we're going to start to really do some things. And I'm going to get some of the aspects of it, we're going to get on film so we can put it up here so that people can just I'm trying to show people that, yeah, we can do it. This is look, you know. But I don't want at the same time cross the line and make it like to where I'm exploiting anyone or exploiting the act. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to be any motivational factor for why I do it or why we do it. We don't do it so I pat us on the back, say you're a hell of a guy. Because you know what? I may have done a lot of bad in my life. I may have hurt a lot of people in my life. I may have been a womanizer. I may have been who the hell knows what. You know, not nice all the time. May have been short with people. May have been rude. May have hurt people's feelings. Right? So, it is what it is. Maybe I'm trying to dig myself out of a hole. But one of the big things that I like to become involved in is stuff with kids. And you're going to see that this week she's going to be calling around and we're going to be lining up things with hospitals. And we're going to get this into motion because I want to go and meet some of these kids. And I want to get to know some of them. I don't want to just go in, you know, on a Hummer and just like, hey kids, hey, let me give you some candy or toys or whatever the hell they're allowed to have, right? No, I want to get to know them and find out what they're interested in. What is their day really like here? And what do they think might make it better? What would they prefer? They want a party? Maybe we'll just have a party for them. Maybe they want something for Christmas. If I get to know them, I can get an idea of what each one might have an interest in. Now, we're not, you know, the Rockefellers or anything. We can't go and buy one of these kids, you know, his own gaming console or whatever that. But you know what? I kind of am inclined to believe that it isn't going to take a whole lot to make them happy. But if I can find out what their interests are and things, then kind of direct, specified gifts, right? And we'll do the whole thing, and it'll be fun here. We'll, you know, I'm going to get me like partially a Santa suit. Not going to dress like Santa, but I'm going to be me as Santa, gorilla with a cause. And that one of the things Gorilla with a Cause engages in is that we like to help Santa Claus out every year. It's a new thing. We got a co-op with Santa Claus. And, you know, we're going to help him cover more territory starting this year. And that's what we're there for. And just have some fun with it. And then, you know, we're going to get together the stuff that we need. And we're going to wrap it up. And we can put that on video. And we're going to take it and try and brighten somebody's day, Christmas, or whatever, right? But Christmas is one day of the year. You know, people, well, it's one day a year, then what are you going to do the rest of the year? Forget about them? No. But whatever effort it requires or whatever, you know, organizing we have to do to make it happen, or monetarily, whatever we have to spend, you know, it's really very little in the grand scheme of things, and it's worth a smile, because maybe smiles are short there. Maybe there's a shortage of smiles. I kind of think that they smile as much as they can. They're not like us. You know, kids are the only true innocents. You and I, we're not innocent. We're not fucking innocent. You know that. I know that. We're not innocent. But those children, man, they're the only real true innocents among us. And, you know, they're not crying to the heavens, you know, God, I curse you, why me? Getting up in the morning, hating every day of their life because they don't know when the last day is coming, but they know it's coming soon. No, they're full of happiness and life, and they're radiant, and full of love, very open and accepting. Very open and accepting, not prejudicial. Don't have any preconceived notions about people. Don't judge people on their appearance or their fucking color of their skin, or, you know. Hey, Please. Please, a little courtesy. So when people make a comment, you know, like this guy that I just got rid of, this YZZ or YYZ or whatever the hell his fucking name is, makes some kind of negative remark about anything in this whole category or subject matter, I take that extremely personally. And I should not validate some imbecile's remark that much, but I do take it personally, man, because these kids, especially when you're talking kids, they're the only true innocents. Do you understand? If it were you or me, I wouldn't be that cheerful about that shit. And I think part of that is because they haven't lived enough yet that the world hasn't tainted them or damaged them or tinted the way that they look at the world, the way that they look at each other, and the way that they view people. They're not bitter. Whereas you and me, we've seen enough shit that if I find out tomorrow I'm terminal with cancer and I'll be dead in a couple weeks, I'm probably going to not be real happy about that. I'm not saying anybody's happy about it, but I'm probably going to be really angry and fucking bitter and the whole 9 yards. Hopefully I can move beyond that. Hopefully I wouldn't spend my last days with that attitude, but I can't say because I can't even begin to imagine what that would be. So anyway, I didn't have anything else to do but sit here without electricity, and I do have a battery in this, so, and it's even dying, but I got a generator. I have my cell phone charging in there now. I can fire a whole generator up just to charge the cell phone, and I can plug this in too. So that's why I'm here. So if you think this video is pointless, it's not. It's not. It's Sunday, and I just wanted to talk to you about something real, man. You know what I mean? About something real. A lot of horrible things happen to kids, man. And when you talk about homeless people, hey, they're undeserving, etc., etc. Stop, sit down. I hate to yell at her because I want her to bark. You never know what the hell is out there. But she gets a little bit too enthusiastic sometimes. Chill out. Stop it. Anyway, you know, kids, a lot of times when they end up homeless or on the streets, you know, I mean, you could say, well, they ran away, they left their home, they've done it to themselves. But I think if I left my home and went out and said, you know what, I'd rather live on the streets and make it in my own way, I think there would probably have to be a really solid reason for me to do that. You know, so are these kids coming from homes where they were mistreated or abused or God knows what? I don't know. You know, or, and then how do these kids feed themselves? How do they support themselves? How do they survive? A lot of them, that's how they get introduced, and they turn to prostitution and things. And you know, if you could catch these situations before they get that far, you know, I'm just talking, if you could catch them and help them before things had to get to that, you know, because these people are going to grow up, if they survive this, and become what kind of member of society? That's where, are they going to turn into a drug addict from what they've had to do or how they've had to live or what they've endured, or are they going to turn into God knows what? It's going to desensitize them. Who knows? Or will they make it through and be fine? Who knows? But if there's something that can be done, and who wouldn't want to do it? And I see emergency vehicles and equipment out there now, so I guess must be somewhere near that they're having an electrical problem. Anyway, I'll be back again, I hope. And of course, I can't post this till I actually get some power, because it would be a whole lot of orchestration to hook everything up to be able to make the Wi-Fi and this all the shit work and computer. And you know I'm not that savvy. Just not that slick anymore. You know? Just not that slick anymore. Hope you've all had an awesome weekend, and thanks for just hanging out with me a little bit today and just allowing me just to get a few things off my chest. Have an awesome day, brothers and sisters.